Welcome back to Is It Still Good, the channel where we watch older films and let you know if they still hold up. Today, we're going to get into a film from 1988. We're on a 1988 kick, it seems. It just worked out that way, right? Between Willow, Akira, and now They Live, John Carpenter's They Live. But hey, 1988 seemed to have been a stacked year for film, and I'm glad we're all here to celebrate it. But first, let's try to sell a book. And we're back. As I've told you guys, I've been working on the audiobook for international bestselling author Joe Vallon by Joe Vallon. It's the second novel in my series of 3, but you could start there. You don't have to read the first book for the second book to make sense. They're loosely related sequels. Loosely related sequels. So not so bad. Anyway, pecking through the audiobook now. They Live, John Carpenter, 1988, runs 1 hour, 37 minutes. Shorter film, sci-fi horror. And I've always loved They Live, in particular for the giant fight scene that we're going to get into. But this is directed by John Carpenter, as I've said, starring Roddy Piper and Keith David, Meg Foster. You know, everybody really likes this movie. High reviews. It was adapted from a short story, 8 o'clock in the morning, by a guy named Ray Nelson. The budget was $3 million, and it made $13 million in the box office, so I don't know. Higher number means profit, I guess. Trivia for this film, the fight was only supposed to last about 20 seconds. And, they just kept going, and they kept working out new shots, and before you know it, it landed at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. 5 minutes past what it was supposed to be. Because Roddy had a good time with the choreographing on that. And I'm so glad he did, because it's like my favorite part in this movie, actually. Spoiler on that. In the entire movie They Live, my favorite scene is hands down that fight. And I'm not alone. I mean, the internet's with me. I mean, everybody loves that fight. South Park did a version of it between Timmy and Jimmy that crushed me. Super funny. Very iconic moment, and pretty cool that it was pushed for, and it was only supposed to be 20 seconds, and because it's not, we're still talking about it. That's neat. John Carpenter actually paid homeless people to be in the shots and fed them. I thought that was pretty cool. Roddy refused to take off his wedding band, which doesn't make sense for his character. Also a little weird that he wouldn't take it off, but okay. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. I never did until I looked it up. But Roddy's character never gives his name. He has no name in this film. So, the chew bubblegum and kick-ass line, that was ad-libbed by Piper. And I think it's neat that people, even when they know of the aliens, they still sometimes side with them anyway for money and or power. That does make a lot of sense. I could see it going down that way. Super weird, but relevant in its message, this film. It's a fun film. It's definitely a fun film. Keith David and Roddy Piper are a really good duo. They have great chemistry. I would have loved to see them in more films together. I think they killed it together in this one. And this is an allegory for the New World Order. Very famously so. People really like to cosplay the alien look. My lady did a version of that on her Ceph. It looked pretty cool. So this has definitely embedded itself in the zeitgeist of pop culture, without a doubt. Now, that being said, watching this film again, I did pass out for a bit. That music that just repeats for the whole movie. Dum boom, dum boom, dum boom, boom, dum boom. Like, it's just very, I don't know, it's just very soothing. It definitely lulls you into a sense of, I want to pass out. The ending is sudden and goofy, and I don't know if I should defend it or say it was too abrupt or what. You know, very potent message, become the thing we consume. Ironic when you buy this on, Blu-ray or something. But yeah, it's still a good movie. This is going to be a short review because I don't have a lot to say on it, and you guys are going to kill me. Because this is a really beloved film. Everybody really likes this movie a lot. That being said, if I have to be objective and be totally honest, and I'm trying to get a new generation of people to watch some of these older films, I have to shoot them straight, because otherwise they're not going to listen to me anymore. If you've never seen They Live, yes, I highly recommend you go watch it for its cultural messaging, for its philosophical themes, for its conversations that it'll spark, no doubt, between you and whoever you watch it with. I do recommend you watch it with somebody else to get you through the boring parts. And there's a lot of cheesy haha moments as well, so I think you'll have fun with that. But if you've already seen They Live, I don't really think you need to go back and revisit it. It's not going to be better than you remember. There's no moments you really need to see. It's okay, but out of all the movies that we've reviewed so far, this is one that I kind of could have gone without. And I know you guys are going to freak out, but John Carpenter films for me are really hit or miss. And a lot of people love a lot of his movies that are kind of lukewarm with me. And this is one of them, and it always has been. And I like Roddy Piper a lot, and there are parts of this movie I like a lot, and I love its messaging, and I like its staying power and the fact that it's a cult classic now. I think that's really cool. That being said, if I'm being totally honest on my channel, which I have to be, otherwise there's no point to this channel, I have to let you guys know that I'm kind of bored by this film. And I have to give it a score now, right? So, if I weigh everything, I give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It falls exactly there for me, possibly even a 6. The reason I give it a 6.5 is because I understand that it's important as far as the history of film. It's important as far as John Carpenter's legacy, a piece of his work that, can't be left out from the overall discussion of all his stuff. But for me, I didn't really enjoy it as much as I used to. I'm a little surprised by that, and that is the point of this channel. I'll give you another example off the top of my head. Just because I don't think I'm ever going to review it, because if I did, I would completely trash it. And it's a movie I used to love, by the way, when I was a kid. It's Crocodile Dundee. We went back and rewatched it, and it's what made me actually start this channel, so maybe eventually I'll make a video for it. But I couldn't stand it. I thought it sucked. And this is a movie I've always really liked when I was younger, but watching it as a grown man, it did not hold up. And that's sort of how I'm feeling about They Live here. I think it could have been done better, bigger, I don't know, more concise. Give me more than one song throughout the entire film that doesn't put me to sleep. Roddy did his part. They gave me that awesome fight that I love. Keith David is cool. You know, I got no beef with Meg Foster. We're cool. John Carpenter, yeah, I get the point. But all added up together, I just could do without it next time for a while. I don't need to see this movie for a long time. So 6.5 out of 10, that's where I'm going to land. Go ahead, beat me up in the comments if you want. I'm sorry if I offended you. I don't like saying anything negative about movies, actually. Very rare that I do. Johnny Mnemonic was the first movie I deemed a stanker on this channel. So I wouldn't call They Live a stanker. It's definitely not. It's a good film. But is it a great film? Not for me. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And I'll see you next time on Is It Still Good?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.